everybody, are you ready for TOEFL? Don't worry, we could help you. Okay, TOEFL is a test of a foreign language, and it's an important test because it skills your abilities and your skills, and it's an international certificate that you sometimes need in United States or in another country. It's written and created by ETS, is in Princeton, New Jersey, and is educational training services. And okay, well, you need 550 points to pass, and the maximum score is 667 points. But don't worry, you receive a certificate if you do the TOEFL, but it's important to pass the TOEFL with the minimum score. Okay, the other important thing that you need to know is you can do the TOEFL as many times as you pay for that, and don't worry for that. Okay, the TOEFL has two types. Is IBT in computer is the most popular, and ITP. ITP is has 3 sections: is listening, writer, grammar structure, and reading. And IBT has 5 sections: listening, writing, grammar structure, reading, speaking, and writing again. Okay? And it expires 2 years after you do the TOEFL, and has 140 questions.
Students, I will try to give you some generalities about this TOEFL test. This test will test you in listening, writing, reading, and the second test will give you in the structural and grammar parts. So it will test your skills, as I said, your strengths and your weaknesses, and your vocabulary. You're not expected to have a perfect pronunciation. You are just expected to have an ability to talk with clarity and to use a grammar properly. So there's a whole big section about the grammar in the second test, in the IPT, but in the IBT test there is no section for grammar. And there is one more thing. In the note-taking is a very important skill. It will help you to focus with your test, but it's not required. Well, in the IBT test it's allowed, but in the IPT test it is not allowed to take notes. So those are some generalities. I hope it helped you a little.
For how to take the TOEFL, if you don't have a knowledge of English, you need to take a course before the exam, because the TOEFL has a different section, and begin your preparation. You decide when to take the exam, and study in regular days or studying a small amount daily is more effective than studying a large amount in one sitting. All English practice is helpful. For example, watching a movie or listen a radio program is helpful for listening skills, and for your reading section comprehension, you need read a newspaper or magazine in English. And for speaking English, is not a skill or necessary for the TOEFL, but if you add some words or new vocabulary, you can understand and take the TOEFL better than if you don't know the topic or the words. And then you can take a diagnostic test for identify your weak areas, and you have to practice in your weak areas, and then you can work in another strong skill that you have. you need to concentration in all the areas for the TOEFL. You need to practice your time in your exercise because the time in TOEFL is necessary, and each section is limited for time. And then if you become familiar with the format and the time, you can know the scores or your goals that you need different in university or the course that you take the TOEFL.
Analyze your strengths. Reflect on the skills that you are got and how can you use these strengths to reach your goals for the TOEFL test. Identify your learning style. Think about the best way for layer and use this knowledge to plan a study session and for the style learning. Identify your learning style. Think about you learn best and use this knowledge for create a plan to the study session. And think about of other style of learning and how could to approach to enhance your learning. Motivate yourself. Motivation is the desire to do something. This motivation can be driven for international goals or external goals. Think about your motivation for studying for the TOEFL test. Set goals. Goal setting is an important process. You should get goals that are specific, challenging, and attainable. Check your progress. You can modify or change your goals and plans for other more accessible.
When you are in TOEFL and you have a lot of readings and listenings passages in the exam, it's important and we need to take notes, paraphrasing and summarizing sometimes. It's important to have notes in your paper to organize all your ideas that you have in your mind. To be a good note taker, you need to develop 2 skills. One of these is writing quickly, and then you have to understanding what is the important in the passages. Learning to paraphrase quickly and effectively will help you to understand and remember the main points and important details from the reading passages. So to paraphrase good, you need to understand all the reading and just can explain with your own words. For that, you need to take notes and then summarizing and what you have to read and hear in order to success in TOEFL. Thanks for the suggestion of TOEFL. I'm ready for the TOEFL exam.